It was said that it's not good for man to live alone. So God gave him someone to stand by his side by literally taking woman right from his side ribs. He could never go wrong and she could never be left. Dibs she had on being his forever. For it is now his mother and father he is required to leave. But in their place he's been ordered by God to cleave to his mate. So he must separate in order to join the one that was made from his loins. And what God has put together, let no man put asunder. Not rain, not sleet, not snow or thunder should divide your union, because your union is made to weather the storm. Even when that storm comes in bodily form, representing beauty, it is the beast, waiting to feast on your salvation when you least expect it. Remember that there is no woman more beautiful than Jesus' sacrifice. Remember that your vows weren't just empty words, they were promises to God. Remember. And don't let your eyes cause you to have amnesia, forgetting that the Lord took away the sting of death. The ring is meant to cover flesh and it represents eternity, meaning you and her forever. But its hold can only be filled with him. Let him take hold of your ministry so he can mold your marriage until it is like a wonderful church service and your congregation is him to the women. Let Proverbs 31 be like your favorite song that you know all the words to, where you will say to your girls, have you read that Proverbs 31 yet? And they will look at you and say that this is what I do and this is who I am. See, the world wants you to feel like you're only meant to be a servant, but Jesus only came down to serve. So don't let the worldly perversion stop you from your dispersion of love. His version of servant is what you were meant to show when our Savior urges peace. So be still. Even when your husband is as unstable as the ocean, hold him down like the sky holds the stars, until the shining of your light calms as waves to the stillness of a pond, and rejoice in your submitting, knowing that it isn't about you submitting to your husband's demands, but about your submission to your father's commands, and you can't afford to be dismissive of his wishes. Otherwise, you might be missing your mission. So understand, you are not merely serving a man, you are serving God. And may your servantship before an audience of one cause him to applaud as you lead from behind. And if your husband isn't taking you anywhere, then you lead his behind right to church. Because if his leadership skills are dead, you might need the Lord to lead him alive and direct him to Ephesians chapter 5, where it says a man who loves his wife actually shows love for himself. No one can hate his own body. Remember, man, she was made from your own body. So you disrespecting her is like disrespecting yourself. And ladies, lastly, know that you being behind doesn't make you any less of a leader. It simply means that you have your husband's back. So if he ever turns away from God because of your obedience to Christ, it is like he is turning right back. Don't miss it, men. You don't get to lead by just being a man. If you haven't been led by him, you have disqualified yourself from leading her, and she shouldn't follow. She shouldn't submit to mess, so don't miss the message. She should have to look no further to you to see God and his principles, because you have his commandments written on your heart. So when she wins your heart, she wins in life. When she commits to you, she commits to Christ. How precious is his life that you have been given. So love her like Jesus loves his church, and for his church he gave his life. So for your wife, you have to be willing to die. So die daily for whatever it is that you want, so that you can live for Christ and his church, because he deserves it, just like she deserves it. Not because she is perfect, but because she is not. For it isn't hard to show unconditional love to perfection, but it is in our unwavering love to these imperfect creatures that our true love is perfected. So let's keep our marriages protected by the three, the Trinity, that takes our two hearts and makes them one. And as we walk in this oneness, it is pleasing to the Son. So don't just be brought together in matrimony, but be brought together to be holy. Wives, wholly responsible for your husband's back. Husbands, wholly responsible for your wives' hearts. And it is in this bond that will make this band unbreakable.